Welcome to Childcare Success Tools, your online academy for childcare owners, directors, and childcare providers. My name is Ashley Benz. I am the CEO and founder of Childcare Success Tools, and I am so glad that you joined me today. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and be sure that you do subscribe. You will be able to get free videos like this that has valuable information about how to run your childcare program. And basically, Childcare Success Tools offers you the nuts and bolts it takes to run a successful childcare program. So, we're going to go ahead, and this is part 2 of the Enrollment Building series of how to increase your enrollment. Last week we talked about how to get your phones to ring, and so that's the first step in increasing your enrollment, is to actually get your phones to ring. So last week we went over that. If you have not watched that video, I will be leaving a link in the description box below, so be sure that you watch that video first and then come to this one. And today our focus is going to be what to do when our phones ring. So last week we talked about how to get your phones to ring and the things you can do to get your phones to ring. And this week we're going to be discussing what to do when your phones ring. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay. And just before we get started, I like to always explain. Well, first of all, I definitely want to thank you all for joining me. I would love to thank my students that have enrolled in my online school. And so I would love to thank you guys. You guys have really been helping me, giving me feedback as to what you are needing in your program and specifically where you're at. So I really do appreciate that. And also, I appreciate my new subscribers as well. So thank you guys so much. Just to kind of really explain what these videos will be doing in the next in the next videos that I'll be doing in this series, I will be basically touching the first layer of each topic. And so those that are a part of the Toolbox of Success membership program, those are the people that will have access to all the other layers and all the nuts and bolts of each topic of this enrollment building series. So if you're interested in my Toolbox of Success membership program, there is a link below, and I will be kind of explaining a little bit more about that towards the end of this video. So the first thing I want to discuss is common problems that childcare programs are dealing with, and the things that I am seeing with answering the phone, because your phone is your tool of getting people in the door. And the end result is that you want to get people into your program. And that phone call that you have is usually it's the only chance you get to explain to people why they should enroll with you and why they should come into your program. So let's go over some common problems. Number one is noisy backgrounds. Having a lot of noise in your background. This is something that is very common with childcare programs, and I'm not really fully understanding as to why people think it's okay to have a noisy background when people are calling. Now, we understand, okay, and that's the thing about it. We as childcare owners and providers, it doesn't bother us at all. Like, it doesn't bother me if I call and there's, noise going on in the background with children, because that's just what we're used to. We're immune to that noise. But other people are not immune to that. And let me kind of really explain to you what happens when you answer your phone and you've got noisy stuff going on in the background, um, usually, number one, we can't time or program children. So if, someone calls your program and a child is upset, we can't time those kind of things. Those are things we can't control. So if I'm a parent and I am looking to enroll my child in your program, and I call and I hear a child that's crying in the background, that doesn't really give me a really, good feeling. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, with, possibly enrolling my child at your center. What that sends to me as a parent is it sends to me that either there's too many children, which means my child is not going to get any one-on-one interaction. It also sends me a message that maybe the teachers there may not really know what they're doing, or there's a lack of staff. And, the most important thing that a parent wants is their child to be happy. Okay. Now, when they call your program and you've got all this noise going on and things like that, and even if it's children that are happy, that are in good moods, and there's great things going on in the background, that's okay, and that's what you actually want when your phones ring. But nonetheless, you just want to make sure that having a quiet background just signals to that person that's calling you, to that potential family, that they have your undivided attention. And so one of the common problems is just having those noisy backgrounds. And so when you answer your phone, you just want to make sure that your background is quiet. What I would do is I would answer the phone, like if it was a noisy background, maybe things were going on in my program, I would answer the phone, and then I would just ask, can you hold please? I would put them on mute, and then I would go get somewhere quiet, where I could focus my attention on the person that was calling and looking into my program. So really watch your background when answering the phone. Another thing is that there's no phone structure. So there's not really any type of script or anything like that when people are calling childcare programs, okay? There's just a simple, sometimes people just answer the phone with the name of the program. So if it's ABC Learning, it's ABC Learning, and that's it. And what happens with that is that, so I'm going to give myself an example. When I call somewhere and, I'm looking for information, I am wanting to I'm looking for somebody that's going to be warm and friendly to me over the phone. I'm looking for somebody that is going to be able to answer my questions. I can tell if somebody is rushy and they really don't want to talk to me. We've all been there when we call somewhere and we're looking for information. You can just tell that. So there has to be a phone structure, which we'll kind of talk about in a little bit in the video. Another problem is not getting information from the person that's calling you. When you do not get a name, a phone number, an email address from the person that's calling you, you are really just setting your program up for failure, because the way that you're going to build your enrollment, and one of the key things of building your enrollment is building an email list or building a client list or potential family list. And if you don't have this list, then you're really just not taking advantage of that phone call. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Another thing is a common problem is no call to action. So there's nothing that when the person gets done talking to you over the phone, there's nothing that gets them to want to take that step further, okay? And we'll talk about that in regards to a call of action. Another thing is there's no consistency. And so what I mean by that is that everybody in your program should be answering the phone the same way and should be handling every phone call the same exact way. Okay? So if they're not doing this, if you don't have something in place to where everybody is doing this, this can also cause you to not, in the long run, and it's not directly but indirectly can cause you to not increase your enrollment building. Okay. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. And then also the one thing that I have noticed is no professionalism. I don't understand, why we're not being professional. And what I mean by that, let me just give you a quick little story here. I did secret shopping in my local area. So I had one of my girls to go out into the other childcare programs in town just to see, what they were offering and the things they had going on. And so obviously before she did that, she called them up so she could set up an appointment. Okay. And so she told me that when she called, she actually got one, she called one program. And I don't want to use ABC Learning, so I'm going to use something else. Let's use, I don't know. Let's use Kids Place. And so, if your program is called Kids Place, I'm not talking about your program. And so anyway, she called and she, the first thing, the phone rang and the person said, Kids Place. And then she was like, I'm interested in doing a facility tour and coming in and looking at your program. Can I speak with someone that can help me with that? And so the next thing was that, hey, Linda, you got a phone call over here. Now, so unprofessional. And I don't know if this is going on in all the states, but I just know in my state, this happens all the time. And so I'm pretty sure that it happens in a lot of different areas. So the thing here, guys, is that we have to be professional. We are a professional business. And if you want your program to stand out amongst the other ones, we have to bring in this professionalism. So what to do when your phone rings? Number one is that you want to have what's called a phone answering skeleton sheet. And I call it a skeleton sheet because it basically is a structure of how every phone call needs to take place. Okay. So you're going to have your intro questions. And so what's going to happen is when that phone rings, you're going to answer the phone with a question. Because the very first thing that we want to do is get information from the person that's on the phone. When we get this information, we customize the phone call specifically for the person so that we can know exactly what points we want to bring out about our program and things like that. So intro questions is how you want to answer your phone. So an example of that would be, thank you for calling Ashley Angels Childcare. That was the name of my program. Thank you for calling Ashley Angels Childcare. Are you looking to enroll an infant, toddler, preschool, or school-age children today? Okay. So I am basically controlling the phone call, and that's kind of what you want. You want to control the phone call in the beginning stages so that you can get information from the client. And then once you start asking the questions, then, they're going to be giving you the things that you need to continue to build that phone call. And the end result to get them in the door. So now I will mention that those that are part of my Toolbox of Success membership program, you guys will be getting all this stuff. I'll be giving you specific questions to ask and all that good stuff there. So now after we have our intro questions and we've kind of really gotten a really good feel of what this person's looking for, and things like that, then we're going to go into the beginning, the selling portion of the phone call. So this is when you are going over, and pulling out those points that what you offer in your program that aligns with what the person told you. So, and let me say this, when I would get phone calls, there were times where you get all kinds of stories and stuff like that. I always like to listen to the person, because sometimes people are really looking for somebody to listen to. The other child care programs are not taking out time to sit and listen and things like that. So I always listen to the person. So let's say I have a phone call of someone that they have their child currently enrolled in a child care program. And this is one I got all the time. So I would get these phone calls where my child is currently enrolled in XYZ child care program. They never tell me what goes on with my child when they come pick him or her up. And so we're looking for a program that's going to be a little bit more, offer more communication with us about our child's day. Also, we would go to pick her up, and they would, have all the kids in the gym, and then they could never find her belongings. So, you get these kind of phone calls. So I'm listening. And a lot of times, I would just take mental note of what they were saying. If you have to write these things down so that you can, go back and address them during the body of your phone call, then do that. And so anyway, when I got all the questions and I got their story, then that's when I would go in and say, well, here at Ashley Angels, my policy is that all of my staff, or that someone is available to explain to you about your child's day. So that is something that was my policy for any of my staff, that they had to greet the parent when they came in, whether it was a child in their classroom or not. And then they always had to give a little summary of that child's day. And so that's what I would say. So here at Ashley Angels, you're not going to have that problem, because it is a policy of mine that every parent will get a daily report about their child's day, and we do those verbally here. And so as far as belongings and things like that, I would address that topic. So asking these questions, getting that information in the intro portion of your phone call then allows you to really, really go in to the body of your phone call, which is going to be basically the selling portion. Because when you are telling and explaining what it is that you do that aligns with what they're looking for, you're selling. That's just it. You're automatically selling. And so, and this is one thing in the childcare industry, in the childcare field, that I know a lot of childcare directors and owners are a little bit shy about, is selling. But this you do have a business. You are running a business, and part of a business is you have to sell something. And so we really have to get into being comfortable with selling. But there's a way of doing that in a way that obviously is going to be natural to you, because it is natural for you to talk about what you do at your program. So, okay. The next portion of the phone call is the offering a special. So you always want to offer a special to the person, and you just want to tell them, well, just to let you know that right now we are doing our Lucky Charm special for the month of March in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, where if you come in and do a facility tour with us, you will be able to go in our pot of gold, and there's enrollment discounts and coupons in there. You can get $20 off, $10 off. There's just different things in there of where you can get a dollar amount off of your enrollment, whatever it is that you want, your enrollment, first week's payment, whatever. So this is a special, okay? And I ran specials every single month, and I actually have templates of all my specials that I ran for those that are part of my Toolbox of Success membership program. So for those of you that are part of the membership program, and you are a student of that and you're enrolled in that program, you will be getting all 12 months of all of my specials that I had. They're really vibrant flyers. These flyers will be in the form of a PDF and a JPEG so that you can put your JPEG on your website and on your social media platforms. And then your PDF, you can print those off and put in your office. So just want to make sure to throw that out there about that. Okay, so once we've offered the special, now we got to have a call to action. Okay, so we've told them, okay, we've let them know everything that we have to offer them, according to their needs. And so now we need to have a call to action. And a call to action simply is just telling them that the special it runs now through March the 17th. So, if you're interested in that, you definitely want to go ahead and get your appointment set up with me to come in and do a facility tour, so that you can really get a part of that special. So, okay, now to even put another layer on top of that, okay, and I have one of my employees. She would always say this is that she's gonna butter them up. So in Kentucky, I guess that's definitely a Southern thing. We do like to use butter in our cooking, and so I always laugh about that because she was great at doing that. She's like, Ashley, I made sure I buttered them up for you. And so anyway, we are going to butter them up by telling them that not only do you get an opportunity to take a part of our awesome Lucky Charm special that's going to be running now through March the 17th. But when you come in, your child gets a free gift for just stopping in. It's just something complimentary that we do by saying thank you to those that come into our center and come into my program, is that we always just give away a free gift. So I would have different packages and things like that for kids, coloring books, crayons, things you could pick up at the dollar store that were not very expensive, that I would give away. And you can even go as far as to getting bags created that has your logo on it. And so when they come in, you're giving something away. And this is just something that makes them even want to come in even more. Because right now we are trying to set the stage up for getting them to get that appointment set up to come and tour our facility and our program. Okay. Then after that, and this is, once again, you guys, this is all on the phone skeleton sheet. Now, if you want access to this sheet, there is a link in the description box below. If you click that link, I will give you access to this sheet in a PDF form. And all I'm going to need is your first name and your email address, so that I know where to send it to. Now, if you're already a student of Childcare Success Tools, I usually send out emails whenever a new video is posted. And so if you got that email, there should be a link to the PDF form of the skeleton sheet for you. So just be sure that you check your email, and you should have access to the phone answering skeleton sheet. Okay. All right, so the next thing is asking to set up the tour. So this is something that, I was really, really afraid to do. Like, I am not a salesy kind of person. That's just not me. But I had to learn how to do that because, once again, you guys, this is your only this may be your only chance you get to really give somebody everything that they need to know about your program. So you gotta keep selling. And so one of the things you got to do is you have to ask for the tour. You have to ask for the tour. In fact, one of my favorite quotes is by Oprah. And if I can remember it correctly, and I just might have to paraphrase it, but it basically just states that, you only get in life what you have the courage to ask for. And I just love that quote. And so you're only going to get that enrollment and that facility tour set up if you have the courage to ask for it. So here's how you do that. So we've given them their special. We told them they get a free gift when they come in. So here's how I always did that. well, would you like to actually come in and set up a facility tour? When would be a good time for you to come in and meet me and my staff? Very simple. Simple question. You just ask it. Or you can even go about doing it like this. Well, I actually have availability. I have an availability this afternoon at 3, and I also have one in the morning at 10 if you're interested in coming into the facility and meeting me and my staff. Very simple. Whatever it is, you've got to ask for that tour. You've got to ask to get them to come in. You just have to ask them, are they interested in coming in? You're going to be able to feel and tell, if somebody's interested. Usually the people that really talk, like once you get to talking to them and they just talk, they're going to be interested in coming in. And then you have ones that are just simply looking for prices and stuff like that. There is a way, I will tell you, if you get those phone calls, because they're going to ask, I'm just looking for pricing and things like that. There is a way of going about still getting that information and giving them the price. But a lot of times, what happens is a lot of childcare providers and directors, owners are going ahead and giving out the price and then hanging up the phone. They're not getting any information from the person, nothing. You don't want to do this, okay? Because all that person has, if you just simply give out the price, is how much it costs. But they don't know what they're getting when they pay that amount because you didn't have a chance to even tell them. And so there's a way of going about doing that, that I share with my Toolbox of Success membership people that are part of that program. So anyway, okay, the next thing is at the very end of all of my phone calls, I would always do this. So let's say that we did get the tour set up. I would always say, well, I really, really appreciate you calling me. I'm looking forward to meeting you and your child, Marcus. Always call the child by name, which is one of the things we'll get into in the program, the coaching program, membership program, and things like that. But always call the child by name and things of that nature. And so, I would basically just say that, thank you so much for calling. I'm so glad I talked to you. In the meantime, while, we are waiting for your tour to take place and before your appointment, be sure, if you haven't already, be sure to go and look at my website, my Facebook page. There's video testimonies on there from families that have that are satisfied families that are currently using me or have used me in the past. And be sure that you go to my Facebook page as well, because that's really going to give you a really good day-to-day as to what goes on, along with my YouTube channel as well. So you always want to remind them to be visiting your other websites and all the social media platforms that we discussed in the part 1 of the Building Your Enrollment series on how to get your phones to ring. Okay, so once this takes place, you guys, you have laid out everything to this person, okay? And there is no way that even if they don't set up that facility tour, when they get off the phone with you, they're calling other programs, and I guarantee you that no other program in your area is doing this stuff. So your program is going to be on their mind the whole time. And most likely they're going to call you back. Now, number 2. So number 1 was your phone answering skeleton sheet. Number 2 is there is fortune in the follow-up. So if they don't call you back, you need to be calling them back, okay? And you need to be contacting them back about, their tour or things like that. So let's say that the person didn't set up a tour, or regardless of what they did, if they did or didn't, you should be following up. You should be following up through email, phone, and there's even ways to do it with text messaging, but you have to be careful with that. And so you immediately after that phone is hanged up, you need to be sending these people an email. It was so nice to talk to you. I'm so glad that I was able to answer your questions. I hope I was able to answer your questions. And I look forward to the facility tour, or if they hadn't set up a facility tour, you know, be sure to set your facility tour up today. I have these specific slots available, you know, whatever. Immediately you need to send out an email. Okay. And I do have email templates that I will be giving away as well. So, you know, that's a part of the program. And I'll be giving those away, emails and stuff like that. Email templates and phone call scripts and stuff of that nature. So, emailing them out, sending out an email, giving a phone call, and even a text message if you have to. Now, in marketing, there's what's called, it's called the 7-touch. It's called a 7-touch system, I believe it's called. I don't know what the politically correct, but anyway, it's 7. You want to touch somebody 7 times, whether that is through an email, a phone call, you know, whether they come into your program. And so you want to make sure you touch somebody 7 times, because after 7 times of them being in contact with your program, they're going to make a decision. So, so there's fortune in the follow-up. Do not hang up the phone and not get this person's information and not follow up with them in some form or fashion. Okay? You are simply just, it's just a waste of time to even answer the phone if you're not going to follow up after that phone call and, you know, just kind of see where they're at. Number 3 is your answer machine or voicemail. So there are going to be times where obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to get to your phone. Going back to that noisy background, if the background's too noisy and it's just you there, you know, if you're a family child care provider, don't answer the phone. Let your phone machine answer it or your voicemail answer it. And then you can always call the person back. But, you know, and I know you guys know that you need to have a voicemail. I'm sure you know that. But what you're probably missing is your special. It's including your special in your voicemail message. You know, what's going on in that month, you know, whatever the case is there. So I'm going to actually go over with you. I'm going to read you how I would do my voicemail message. So I'm going to actually just go ahead and this is actually my script that I would follow, that I would use every time I would answer my phone, or actually for my voicemail, not answering the phone, but for my voicemail. So let me show you how I would do it. Okay. So the phone or the person calls and they get the voicemail. Hi, I'm Ashley, and thank you for choosing Ashley Angels Childcare. Our summer holiday closing schedule is as follows. We'll be closed Monday, May the 25th in observance of Memorial Day, and Friday, July the 3rd in observance of 4th of July. It's time for fun in the sun here at Ashley Angels, and we are so excited about our 2015 summer camp that begins June the 1st. Your child will enjoy fun themes such as Sloppy Slimy Fun, Carnival Week, and Music Mania with special guest Tim Livingston, who will be putting on a huge performance your child will love. Be sure to ask us about our summer camp enrollment packages today. So when the person called, and then after that I would go into, you know, our hours of operation or whatever, and you know, the basic stuff. But when the person called, you know, they are immediately getting a little bit of a vision of what's going to be going on at my summer camp for that, you know, for that year. And so once again, you guys, this is another way of getting people in your door, because are the other child care programs doing this? Are they doing this? No, they're not. You know, they probably just have your standard basic voicemailing message, and that's it. You just want to make sure that you have something that really goes over and explains what's going on in your program, that makes people want to leave the message, because sometimes people get a voicemail and they'll just hang up. So this actually makes them want to leave a message so they can be contacted back. So number 3 is making sure that you do have you know, a special or what's going on in your program included in your voicemail message. Number 4, your end goal is to put them into one of two categories, okay? I'm sorry, one of three categories. So, once you took the initial phone call, you may be doing follow-ups with these people. Some people are going to come in and do the facility tours, and they're going to enroll. Some aren't. Whatever the case is, you are doing follow-ups with these people nonstop, okay? And for somebody that has not came in and either toured your facility or your program or has not enrolled with you, there's three categories that you need to be working with them on to figure out which one you need to put them in. Number one is your enrolled category. Obviously, this is where we want everybody to go, okay? We want everybody to go in our enrolled category box. Number two is a wait list, okay? So maybe, I would get a lot of moms that would call me that were expecting, and they would actually go ahead and put their child on my wait list while they're pregnant. So with those people, obviously the best place for them to be is a wait list, and then they would get over into my enrollment box, so to speak. So enrolled, which is where we want everybody to go, wait list, and then now you are going to have the lost opportunity, okay? It happens, it's part of the business, and there's multiple reasons of why people don't choose your program, which I will be teaching my students on all of that stuff and how to get into all that and how to figure out why they didn't choose your program. But your lost opportunity is also, a third one. So while you're working with these people, you're doing your 7-touch marketing system where you're making sure you're touching the person 7 times via email, text, whatever, phone calls, things like that. You are trying to put them in either enrolled status, waiting list status, or lost opportunity status, okay? And so that is your end goal. So you have to be cultivating these potential families and working with them and staying in front of them and all that good stuff to be able to really figure out, where they're going to eventually go. Okay. So that basically is the 4 steps of what to do when your phone rings. So let me kind of go over them one more time. Number 1, you want to have a phone answering skeleton sheet. And everybody in your program needs to be using this sheet if they answer the phone. And of course, you'll have to train your team on this stuff because, they're not going to get it right off the bat. So it's something you're going to have to work and train with them on. Number 2 is the fortune and the follow-up via email, phone calls, and texts. Number 3 is your answer machine or voicemail. So making sure that you have a special, whatever your special is for that month or whatever's going on in your program that you do, include that in your voicemail message. And then number 4 is cultivating and working with each potential family and getting them into the enrolled wait list or the lost opportunity category. So now I want to take a little bit, just a quick moment here to go over I know I've been mentioning a lot about the Toolbox of Success membership program. And so once again, I just want to explain that what I just gave you is simply the top layer of this portion of the enrollment building and increasing your enrollment series. So what you just got was the introduction to the portion of the membership program that I give. So you just simply got the introduction, okay? And so for those of you guys that if you're interested, let me just kind of explain how the program works. So basically, once you access your Toolbox of Success and you enroll into my membership program, what happens is that bi-weekly I meet via webinar, via Skype or webinar, Google Hangouts. with all of my members that are in the program. And so we would go over this. So in the portion, like today, for instance, if we had that, we do it bi-weekly. If this was what the topic was today, I would have basically been going all in depth and giving all the nuts and bolts of all these different 4 things. Today I would have given the members access to all of the 12 specials that I would run that had the flyers to them. I will be given access to the total phone script, all the questions that they can be asking when they answer the phone call. The email templates that they can send out, the phone dialogue or phone scripts that they will be using when they are doing their follow-up phone calls, different voicemail options and messaging scripts, just like what I read to you guys a few minutes ago. And then what system and tool that I use to collect all this information. Because if you guys know me, you guys know I'm a paperless woman. My office was paperless, and hardly anything that I used was on paper. So when I call this the phone answering skeleton sheet, you're going to be getting a sheet, but those that are part of the membership program will actually be getting information as to the program that I use to do this, because there are different programs out there that's available that you can streamline this and do this all on your computer. So those that are part of that, you get that. Now we meet bi-weekly. We meet, like I said, via, it's like a webinar kind of thing. So you actually see my face. I'm in front of you. We meet, we talk, we go over these things. And then in the course of the 2 weeks, so, we meet 1 week and then we have 2 weeks in between before our next meeting. I have office hours, so my membership, those that have access to my membership program, you get to access me via my office hours. I do have a special private, now there's a private Facebook page, and you need to join that if you have not joined that, for Childcare Success Tools. It's free. There is a private Facebook page that simply just is for anybody to join. I will be sure to put the link in the description box below if you want to join that. But it's just a place for, directors, owners, those of the Childcare Success Tools community to be able to get together and, just go over things that's going on in their program, get ideas, talk, vent, whatever. So there's a link in the description box below to access that. But when you're a part of the Toolbox Access, the Toolbox of Success membership program, there's a separate private Facebook page to where, you guys can be discussing what we talked about in our bi-weekly powerhouse meetings. And you also have access to me because, I will be, I'm in that group. When questions pop up, I'll be answering those questions and things like that, along with my office hours, which means that you're going to have access to me, through my office hours and be able to send me an email or Facebook or whatever the case is there. So what that gives you, because we just went over the what to do. Remember in the first video I talked about that. So I just gave you the what to do. When you're part of the membership, the Toolbox of Success membership program, that's where I give you the how to do it, the step by step. I will be there to hold your hand every step of the way. I will be there when you have a question, and the assignment was to create an email or whatever the case was there for your follow-up or whatever the case is, and you get stuck. I'm going to be available to help you, along with you're going to also have access to the other members in the program, so you guys can be asking each other questions and things like that. And so this is where you get the nuts and the bolts of how to run a successful childcare program, is being a part of the Toolbox of Success membership program. Now, if you're interested in that, there is a link below in the description box. So be sure to click that link. Go over there, read about the program. You know, the website will explain to you what that's all about. Read about it. And if you're interested, go ahead and enroll in that program. And, we'll go from there. And that's where you're going to be able to transform your child care program. Okay. So if you're looking to transform, these videos they're just going to kind of give you some other ideas and ways to think. And obviously, I will tell you this, because I've watched a lot of videos myself with childcare coaching and things like that. The one thing that you're going to get with me is that I'm a very detailed person. Okay. When I look for information, I'm not looking for fluff stuff. Okay. I'm looking for things that's going to help me. So my videos, I'm not giving you fluff things. These are actual things to do to put this in place. When we get done with this series, you're going to have, loads of steps that you can take to put this stuff in place. So it is stuff you can actually take with you and move your program forward. But if you want to transform your program quickly, then that membership program is what's going to be best for you. Okay. All right. So the next part 3 video is going to be your facility tours. So we went over how to get the phones to ring. We just went over what to do when your phones ring. And now the next one we're going to go over, which is going to be next week, your facility tours. And this, you guys, you don't want to miss this one, because this is your do or die moment. Okay. Is when they actually come in and tour your facility and your program. This is it. So next week I'll be going over the what to do in regards of your facility tours. All right. I really, really hope that you got something out of this video. I hope that you are enjoying child care success tools. The things that I'm posting up here, the videos I'm posting, my Facebook page and things like that, my Instagram. I just hope that you are getting something out of child care success tools as a whole. If you like this video and you felt like that it was valuable content, valuable information, because my focus and my goal is to give out valuable information, then if you can communicate that you did like the video and is valuable, if you can communicate with me by simply hitting the like button below. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. If you don't like the video or whatever the case is there, I am open to suggestions. My goal is to serve you and to give you what you need to move and transform your child care program. The only way I'm going to do that is, I need to have that feedback. So make sure to leave a comment below if you have a question, of anything like that. Make sure that you do leave that comment below. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, once again, be sure that you hit that subscribe button to be able to get notified of free, valuable information like this and videos that I'll be posting up weekly. So once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. So bye.